Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of The Great War of Archimedes, a Japanese war drama from 2019. Now, I heard about this movie a while back when it first came out, but war movies always go on my back burner because I'm usually not in the mood to watch them. Well, I recently watched this and was quite surprised that it's a very different kind of war film. Now, the film is set in the early 1930s, and to replace an aging battleship, a new super battleship, the future Yamato, is proposed to the Navy. And the admirals believe that battleships are becoming obsolete, and they advocate building a new aircraft carrier instead. But they are opposed by the Navy's old guard, so they seek the help of an eccentric, headstrong, and pacifist mathematics prodigy with an obsession for measuring things. And he's at first unwilling to help these guys, but becomes convinced that a super battleship will be seen by other nations as an aggressive threat, leading Japan and the world towards war. And he agrees to work with them, okay? Much of the film revolves around this mathematician's efforts to prove that the cost of this huge battleship will be much higher than the designers claim. So it's pretty interesting kind of, internal conflict here within the Japanese, military. So you have one group of people who want this battleship built, and another group of people who are trying to kind of like kibosh that plan and go with aircraft carriers instead. And the movie begins with a naval battle that results in the sinking of a Japanese battleship. It's the first and last extended battle scene in the entire film. And that's a good thing. You know, it's a pretty good war battle scene, but everything that comes after it is way more interesting. So we're immediately thrown into this debate between, a few Japanese men regarding the utility of battleships versus aircraft carriers for, the future of warfare. And the aircraft carrier apologists feel like the battleship apologists are fudging their numbers a little bit, in their build designs. They need to prove this, though. So a lot of the focus of the film is placed on the difficulties with coming up with a cost estimate of building a battleship within a restricted period of time. And that's basically your movie here. This is your war film. So if anyone in real life, has ever worked on a budget or a project estimate for their business or whatever, you'll understand the level of detail can get out of control. And that's exactly what our protagonist needs to do. He needs to develop the most accurate battleship cost estimate humanly possible, as fast as possible. And you add to this the need for detailed specs on battleships, material cost information, labor stats, production times, etc. Some information that's not easy to acquire. And at one point later on, he kind of has to take a different perspective on his calculations in order to kind of compensate for the limited amount of time and information that he has to complete this task. And it's actually a really neat premise for a movie. And it gives The Great War of Archimedes a different feel, very different feel from your typical war film. Now, our main character is the young math prodigy guy, very much lacking in patriotism too, and this also kind of surprised me. In fact, he doesn't really seem to really like his home country of Japan that much. And near the beginning of the movie, I think he was kind of making plans to travel internationally. And so his main reason to engage in this conflict within the military is to prevent a possible war. And due to the lack of a nationalist slant, The Great War of Archimedes contributes some interesting and unusual discussions for a war movie, while at the same time avoiding any significant Japanese propaganda. You know what I mean? So I kind of liked how they took a measured approach to this film, pun intended. Now, the big debate near the end, there's a big set-piece debate where our protagonist has to prove, that these the battleship apologists are fudging their numbers and there's something weird going on there. And there's a few little twists in the argumentation that I did not see coming. and that was nice to see. Performances are solid across the board. I was actually very impressed with the lead actor, Masaki Suda. And I've seen him in a bunch of stuff over the years, but this could be my favorite performance of his to date. Like, he really kind of carried the film nicely. He was really into it. He brought some energy to it. Because a film about budgeting and cost estimates could be really boring if it's not written particularly with a sense of detail, and if the actors don't bring a lot of energy to it. But they avoided that possible flaw. A film based on mathematics, really, and he does a very good job. So, yes, I actually strongly recommend this movie. And I would say it plays to all audiences, even those who, dislike war films, or maybe the plot synopsis seems a little bit too brainy for you. I definitely recommend that you check this out. It surprised me a little bit. It's very good. And it's currently available on a variety of streaming sites. So if you have seen this, let me know what you think. I think this is a surprising crowd pleaser. And as always, I'll see you next time.